Alright guys, what is up? Let's review today's trades. We have this, we're looking at gold right now. I got this low volume node that came all the way from July 9th, hasn't been tested. So we keep extending that out until it gets tested. Today, it got tested pre-market, so we weren't able to take that. I was hitting snooze on my alarm at this time. This blue zone is all not New York session. So this was 5:55 my time. It was the 1 minute, so we'll just zoom in there so we can see what that looks like. All right, so we came down to this low volume node, which is this blue line, and sorry I keep changing the colors. I'm trying to find a color scheme that I like, but right now it's this blue color, and we had a imbalance here. We had this 1 minute imbalance. It was the only time frame we had that imbalance on. So imbalance into the imbalance. We then inversed the imbalance with volume, as you can see right here. We had volume stepping up. So that was the signal to enter. We have quite a few targets here. No wrong answers. First one would be there. Got another target here. This would be TP and BE, break even. Got another one here. Now what I'm starting to see more and more is it's really worth, if you can do it, leaving a runner on these trades, because they love to bounce from one low volume node up to another. And this one didn't quite make it, but if you just let this run to the end of the day, you would have sold essentially at the high, and that would have been an absolutely insane trade. I mean, it was an insane trade regardless, but that would have been absolutely nuts. So this trade looks like R to R. Would have been something like, let's see, 28, we'll go 30. At its peak would be 2.4, 1.7, and just under 1. So first target just under 1, second target just about 1 3/4, and then final target at just about 2.5. So I think on average that would put you right around right just under 1, so about right under 2, so about 1.7 I think would be the average there. So that's an awesome trade. Nothing else on gold for the rest of the day. Right now I'm seeing if we can get up to this low volume node, which comes from, that would have been the overnight session of yesterday. So July 16th overnight session. We got this low volume node right above the value area high. That should be a really good rejection area. Just hoping we get there so we can get a trade. NASDAQ gave us an absolute beautiful trade this morning. This was actually based on, let's see. Let me go to Top Step because I took it on the 30-second chart. I don't have the 30-second on TradingView. Let me put this over here. We have low volume node here. I think it was this right here. Yeah, that had to have been it, because that is above the value area high of the prior session. So there is this move here. This is going to be again on the 30-second. Where is it? All right, here we go. So we're here on the 30-second. This is the fair value gap. This is the imbalance. We created an imbalance going into the imbalance. We then inverse the imbalance with volume. So you can see right here we had volume spiking up. So that is the signal to enter on the close on the other side of that imbalance. And this one was absolutely awesome. First target was here. That's BE and TP. Then my final target was the high of the overnight session, or just about close to it. Oops. Sold it at, let's see. I think I sold it going into it. So 151.25. Yep. So sold it right down here. I sold going into the strength just because why not? a great trade regardless. So this green line shows 2R, so this is probably about 2.5R. This was over 1R. That was absolutely awesome. Great start to the day. That went from 640 to 652, so that was real nice. So now our levels for tomorrow. We have this low volume node here below the value area low of the prior ETH and RTH session. So that one is this one right here. There is this big move here. There is this low volume node. That could be a good point. It would kind of correspond with this resistance turn to support. So let's actually put one here and we'll just see if we get a signal here. We'll take it. If we don't, we don't. There's no harm in trying. In fact, why do I still have... That's weird. Okay, well that works. So we're watching the 210 area. 218 is where it starts. And we're also looking at the 137 area on NASDAQ. YM, we did not have any trades that I know of. I was watching the NQ, so I didn't see really any setups here. We broke above the level here, broke below this one, or broke down to this one. We did get an inverse with volume. Honestly, I wouldn't have taken that because that is a pretty bearish candle, even though it did inverse with volume. That's a lot of selling volume with that upper wick there. Would have been a quick BE, and he would have got BE'd anyways. So that's one where I just didn't even pay attention because there was a better setup on NASDAQ that I got. Maybe could have taken a long here if there was a fair value gap that presented itself. There was one that inverse, but it had less volume. So you can take that. That inverse, but had less volume. And then you get an inverse here with less volume on the inversing candle. So yeah, it looks like there was no setup on YM today. Oh, there was this 5-minute one here. It was a 3-bar. Okay, yeah, so there was one. There was this 3-bar reversal here on the YM. Came down to it, inversed it, didn't need volume because it was a 3-bar reversal. Go to BE pretty quickly, and then you don't even come back to it. Next target is up here at that low volume node above. So yeah, that would have actually been a nice trade. 2R on that. Doing partials though, it would have been about 1.5 it looks like. So that's awesome. Let's check the ES. ES, I didn't have any levels marked out. I like to mark out above and below the value area. So this is the value area high of the prior session. So I'd look for the low volume node. That would have been from the prior session right there. And that looks like that's going to be the same trade that we took on NASDAQ in terms of the time of it. So ES didn't really give us anything, but we got a great one on, a good one on, they're all great. We got a great one on YM on the 5-minute at 840. There was this nice one here pre-market on gold at 550. And again, this is Arizona time, so it's about 3 hours behind New York time. And then the NASDAQ had an awesome trade here at 6:40 a.m. and that would be 9:40 Eastern time. And I was on the 30-second chart. So 3 solid trades, they all won, and that's how you do it. Imbalance into an imbalance. Inverse the most recent imbalance with either a 3-bar reversal or with multiple candles, but in that case you would need volume. And that's how you do it.